Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video here on Jurassic Collectibles. Today we've got another one of these slightly more informal unboxing and review style videos that I've been doing recently. Really enjoying doing the live commentary as opposed to a commentary afterwards, so hopefully you guys are enjoying it too. And today we are going to be looking at the four most recent Ferocious Packs. So we have the Dimetrodon, the baby Nasutoceratops, Rugops Primus, and the Atrociraptor. Really cool assortment of four figures. I like all four of them, I don't have a problem with any of them. There are some slight issues with some of the figures, and we will get into that as we start this review. So let's go from right to left, and let's start with the Dimetrodon. So the Dimetrodon, obviously a prehistoric synapsid that does appear in Jurassic World Dominion. You can see that the Ferocious Pack packaging looks fantastic. Really like how much the Rex pops on this packaging. And the figure itself is a neon green with a red colour for the sail. You can see we've got Dimetrodon on the packaging. You can get a closer look at some of the additional paint apps on this figure, and then on the back of the packaging you have all of the usual information you would expect, a little diorama for the DNA code, and the other figures in this assortment. So that's really it for the packaging. We're not going to spend that long looking at the packaging on the other figures, and now we've done it on this one. And I should say this is the same sculptor that comes in the Alan Grant story pack. So you can see just there, if we put it down, get it nice and in focus for you, then there you can see actually a really good look at this Dimetrodon. So it is in a lime green colour scheme, as you can see. It looks pretty decent. I like the paint apps here. I like how the paint fades into the body. It really highlights some of the bumps in the skin as well. You can see the paint on the sail looks really nice. I like how it fades up into this red colour scheme here. And it looks really gorgeous. Really cool animal. I have to say a huge thank you to my friend Victoria's Cantina. Link should be in the description. And you should see her channel logo on the screen now, as she very kindly bought me this figure as I was helping out a few US friends, sending them these Ferocious Packs, and as a little thank you for being willing to do that, she actually paid for this figure for me, which was really kind of her. So thank you so much, Victoria. I am so happy to have this in the collection and really appreciate you being so kind and so generous. You can see there some really nice paint apps for the face. Really like how the paint fades in as well. Paintwork for the tongue, the teeth, all looks really fantastic. I actually really like this Dimetrodon. You can see we have the Dino DNA code just there, and all in all, this is a great Dimetrodon to go with the one that came in the Alan Grant story pack. So that is the Dimetrodon. Really cool figure, really happy to have it in the collection. And next up, we are going to move on to the Nasutoceratops. So you can see the Nasutoceratops, an important part of Dominion's story at the start. Claire and Zia saved this animal from a poaching farm. So really cool to have the baby Nasuto. Obviously appears in battle at Big Rock as well, so really cool from that standpoint. And you can see there are some really great paint apps on this figure. Again, the same packaging we've come to expect, so we won't waste any more time in this review looking at the packaging for each of the figures. We'll just do a brief overview and get this figure out of the box. And there you can see the Nasutoceratops. If I zoom us in a little bit, here you can see this gorgeous little ceratopsian. Really nice paint for the face apps. You've got painted detailing for the horns. Really nice paint for the eyes. There is a little bit of black paint on mine there. I was willing to take this one because I didn't want to send it on to my friend since I spotted the paint defects on it. But you can see that there is spot on. That looks so good. Really, really like this Nasuto. You've got actually dark blue colours in the top of the crest here. Not sure that's showing particularly well on the camera, but it looks really good. And there is some dark blue on the back as well. And then the rest of the figure comes in this sort of purpley grey colour scheme. You've got the little tail. This is pretty authentic to what we see on screen. We haven't really seen a Nasutoceratops in this colour scheme though, so it would be nice to see that at some point down the line. And in terms of articulation, we've got swivel legs, swivel at the front just there. The head is on a ball hinge joint, so you can get it to look around, bend it down a little bit, bend it up a little bit. And that right there actually is quite a cute pose. I really like that. So all in all, the Nasutoceratops, another juvenile dinosaur for the line, and a really, really welcome addition. And you can see the DNA code quite easily pops out the back of the Nasuto just there as well, and then pushes back in quite easily. So the Nasutoceratops, another very welcome figure, another welcome addition to the collection, and one I'm grateful that we got to add through this wave of Ferocious Packs, really. So that's it for the Nasutoceratops, probably the highlight of this wave for many of you. And now we're going to move on to Rugops Primus. So Rugops is a really, really interesting design. I haven't actually seen anything to do with this dinosaur, so if it's one you're familiar with, do let me know in the comments below. Looks really great in the packaging again. Like we said, same packaging on the back of the box. So let's just cut this one straight out of it again. These figures are held nice and tightly in the packaging, I must admit, really appreciate that. And Rugops is out of the box. Now this figure has a gorgeous colour scheme. I love the way the blacks fade into the back here, and I also love the way they fade into the head as well if we get that in focus. That looks so great. And the cool thing with this figure is it appears to have some elements of feathering baked into it. So you can see there a lot of feather type texture that fades into the figure's back and down the tail, and it looks really, really good. You've got loads of texture packed in across this figure. You can see on the legs there as well, even down into their feet, there is a serious amount of texture baked into everything they've done with this. You've got the little claws sticking out the back of the legs just there. See if we can get that in focus for you. There we go. There is just so much richness in the sculpt of this figure that is really, really wonderful. And this is probably one of the most detailed sculpts I would say we've seen Mattel do, just because there's so many different layering so many different layers even of the sculpt work that is packed into this figure. It looks really, really good. The little arms here can be moved, as you can see. The legs can go back and forth. The tail also rotates, and then you've got the head here as well. And it is worth noting, on every Rugops I've seen, unfortunately the eyes are misaligned. I'll see if I can give you a closer look at that. There you go. They are unfortunately misaligned. So QC, clearly a problem for this particular figure. Looks a little bit like it's squinting. On this side it's a lot better actually. But you can see you've got this crest that comes through the middle here, and so much texturing just packed in throughout this figure. And then of course the mouth opens, so you can make it raw. You've got yellow teeth, pink tongue, pink gums. Looks really, really good. So although the Rugops, oh, and of course there is a DNA code as well, can't forget that. And that just comes out the figure's back, and if we rotate it around, you can see there is a DNA code for the Rugops as well. So really interesting figure actually, really interesting dinosaur. And I think this shows how far Mattel sculpting has come in terms of packing in really precise detail. Really, really like this one. And then lastly, we have one that I've really been looking forward to as well. And this is another version of the Atrociraptor. So this, I believe, is Panthera. I believe it's Panthera. It's Panthera or red. It's not tiger. But it's one of the other Atrociraptors from the Malta sequence. Now, I only have Ghost at this point, so I'm really, really happy to have another Atrociraptor in the collection. And you can see, again, all of the packaging details we can expect. And actually, if you know what sets I need to buy or what figures to get all 4 of the Atrociraptors, let me know in the comments, because I really want to get all 4, but I've not really seen if all 4 of them are out yet or if we're waiting for any, so that information would be very useful. And pulling the Atrociraptor out, you can see this, I believe, is the same sculpt as Ghost had in the Malta set we looked at recently. The paint apps on this figure are sharp. They look incredibly good. That eye paint just there looks fantastic. Wow. I really love the paint apps on this figure. The paint apps on the body, the way they blend so cleanly and then transition into the underbelly looks fantastic. This, in terms of quality control, this is a very, very good Ferocious Pack. That looks, you can see that there, just so, so good. And obviously, on the Atrociraptors, their mouths open, so you can get them to roar. And it's just a really great looking figure. You've got so much texture in terms of things like the knees, then sort of quite smooth skin, which is highlighted nicely by the paint app. So really good figure, Mattel, really like this one. And you've got the usual ball jointed neck, which swivels, got swivel arms, swivel legs, and a swivel tail. And you also get the Dino DNA Facts App, which you can see just there. So very welcome new version of the Atrociraptor as well. And if we now bring all 4 of these figures back into the studio, back into the limelight for you, then you can see that this is a very, very strong assortment of characters. I think Mattel's really done a good job with this particular wave of Ferocious Packs, of giving us a ton of different animals with unique aesthetics. You have the Atrociraptor and the Nasutoceratops, both of which really well depict their in the film counterparts. Then you have a variant of the Dimetrodon that's a little bit different to what we see on screen, but still works really well. And an awesome new dinosaur in the Rugops as well. This is a really, really cool line of Ferocious Packs. Really happy I got my hands on them. Hope you guys have enjoyed a closer look at them. Make sure to like, favourite and subscribe. Do all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments below which figure's your favourite as well. And until the next time, guys, take care and have a great week.